As one people united, we acknowledge the reality that the future of the human race requires the cooperation of its members, that our system must protect our rights, and upon corruption of that system, it is up to the individuals to protect their own rights and those of their neighbors, that a democratic government derives its just power from the people, but corporations do not seek consent to extract wealth from the people and the earth, and that no true democracy is attainable when the process is determined by economic power. We come to you at a time when corporations, which place profit over people, self-interest over justice, and oppression over equality, run our governments. We have peaceably assembled here, as is our right, to let these facts be known.
Here, don't get too excited. We have positive news, we don't have definitive news. Because there were approximately 20 people who were courageous enough to stay here on the Capitol grounds and protect their rights, to stand up for their rights, for peaceful assembly and free speech, and they risked arrest. Not only did they risk arrest, they actually were arrested and brought to the magistrate's office, where they spent approximately 3 hours being detained there. And then 4 hours, and then they were released. And because after that, a couple dozen people came back here and spent the night. Because of all of these reasons, we received a call this morning at about 10:45 a.m. for the General Counsel of the Department of Administration. This is a pretty big thing. I talked about it with Nick, our lawyer. We received a call on a Sunday morning from someone so high up in the He was very sympathetic to us. I was explaining to him why we're here. This is a matter of free speech, that we have a right to peacefully assemble. And he said, you don't need to justify this to me. I understand what you're doing, and I don't object to it. I'm willing to work with you. He asked who our legal representation was. I did give him the name of the lawyer who's unofficial at this point, but who has been helping us, and who stayed at the magistrate's office last night until everyone was released. He's made the counsel for the Department of Administration has made contact with Nick Wumudiners, who's been helping us out up until now, and they're going to open some negotiations. Nick expects that we'll hear back today or maybe tomorrow at the latest, but we do expect there to be some negotiations about some ability to continue an occupation.
Yeah.
And that's the big news. I do want to stress it's because we had our turnout yesterday. It's because people were willing to risk arrest and were arrested to stand up for their rights, and it's because people continue to stay here even after that happened that this was made possible.
Awesome. And people called.
Yeah, and the people who were willing to put pressure on our elected representative to stand with us. That's why this has happened.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
So as soon as I have more information, I will...
I was wondering that myself, actually.
Somebody just brought hot tea.
There's your pen, right? Just there.
They can take our money, they can take our homes, they can steal the future, mortgage our souls, occupy the politician's mind, buy the truth and sell us lies. But there's a rising on Wall Street. I am you and you are me. We are the 99%ers, the right side of love and history. It's hard to say where it went wrong. Decades before me and this song. gangsters and the war. You know I just can't take it anymore. There's a rising on Wall Street. I am you and you are me. We are the 99%ers, right side of love and history. But there's a rising on Wall Street. I am you and you are me. We are the 99%ers, right side of love and history. Right side of love and history.
Hello, I'm Phaedra, and I'm an 11-year-old occupier. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, and when Occupy, a walking occupation, came through here, I decided to make a documentary about it. So this is my documentary, and I hope that you are inspired and that you enjoy it.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
We love you, Occupy.
We love you, Occupy!
You know, and look at this. There's people that are fed up. They want change.
So when you arrived here, what are you feeling?
Let's just keep going. Right now, it's the 3-month anniversary of Occupy Wall Street. September 17th is when they occupied Zuccotti Park. They're reoccupying as we speak. Occupy 2.0. Occupy 2.0. Activity into it all. And I do believe we have a march to go to. So if you want to follow us along the way, you know, we'll be going to the State Capitol building as well as Occupy Raleigh. Please join us. Woo!
Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets!
Our streets!
Town, get up! Get down! There's revolution in this town, get up!
Get down! There's revolution in this town! Get up! Get down! There's revolution in this town! Get up! Get down! There's revolution in this town! Whose capital? Our capital! Whose capital? Our capital! Whose capital? Our capital! Whose capital? Our capital! Who's 99%? We are the 99%! We are the 99%! We are the 99%!
We walked in, there were 6 of us that were arrested, right? And when we were sitting down, all handcuffed, my hand was bloody, Sarah, you know, we were all in high spirits. And the officers, believe it or not, were some of the most respectful people we ever met. You know what I mean? If they didn't have their shield on, you know what they would do? They would conversate with us with the same.
Hey, you can hear this, guys.
My name is Bohan, B-O, last name is H-A-N. I am one of the Occupy marchers.
How do you think kids can help Occupy?
The Occupy movement, I presume. What kids can do is watch and learn. You know, learn, because what we're doing, me personally, I believe that what we're doing is for the children. What we're doing is for the next generation. I look at it like there's these opportunities that come up in our lives, and we have a choice of either letting it slip by and slip through our hands, or we can grasp that moment and really give everything we have. And I look at it like that's what a lot of the young people are doing at the moment, and even to the school kids, the elementary, high school, middle school kids. I really believe just watch what we're doing and be inspired to take that action when it's necessary. You know, this movement is not a fly-by-night thing. I really believe that this movement is going to continue, and it's going to continue, and we're gonna carry the torch as long as we can, and then we're gonna pass it on to you. You know, so I just look at it like what the 5th graders can do is be aware of what's going on around them, learn where they can, and also be ready, because it's happening. You know, instead of reading about history, you can actually be a part of history.
Can you tell me about experience you've had while marching that you found really inspiring?
Just some instances. I mean, I can give you several. Every day when we head out, especially us, what we are is we're a mobile occupation. So what we do is we walk. You know, we're marching every day. We start at 9 o'clock, we end at 5 o'clock. We march all day, and we stop for breaks, of course. Some of the beautiful things that we've seen is we've seen everyone from a little old lady named Ruth. We met on the Virginia-North Carolina line, where she first came up to us and she was like, "What are you doing?" And we were like, "Oh, we're a walking occupation. We're Occupy. You know, we're part of the 99%. And then she kind of gave us a little stare, and then she drove off. About 20 minutes later, while we were having a little break, she came by. So she pulled her little Cadillac Escalade around. It was a nice little SUV. She pulls it around, and she says, hey, come here. So we walk over to her door, and she hands us these freshly baked butter cookies, wrapped in cellophane with 2 candy canes attached, saying, "Here, take these. These are a gift for you. I just baked these out of the oven." And that's just one example of several where, you know, there's every day we wake up and there's another miracle that happens. Every night we go to sleep, when we rest our heads to sleep, there's miracles that have happened the entire day. You know, to list one, that would be one.
Can you tell me what's an experience that you've had marching that you found inspiring?
That's a great question. Let's see now. Just when people, like I remember there was one house I was passing by, and you know I was already behind everyone, and because this is a slower pace march, we can actually go out and like start talking to people and just telling them, and they had absolutely no idea what the Occupy movement was, and when we said we're marching from DC to Georgia, to Atlanta, Georgia, just the look of shock on their faces, and "You're crazy" was one of the comments, and just being able to outreach to people who have never heard of us before, and being able to tell a little bit of story, a little bit of what we are about, is really cool.